Hello, everyone. How are you? Very sunny day in Melbourne today. Fantastic. We've had a bit of rain in the past few days, but it's nice to see the sun again. And apparently, we're going to have it for a few days. So I'm pretty happy about that. Today, I want to talk about the topic of unrealistic dreaming. You know, I've sort of heard that word bandied around a lot lately. And I've certainly heard it many times in my life. I do tend to be a bit of a dreamer. One of the big dreams I had in 2019 was to be at that tree. You see that tree there? It's at the Krka waterfalls in Croatia. And one of my big dreams was to go see the Krka waterfalls. And so I can't tell you how many times I've been told, be realistic. You've got unrealistic goals, unrealistic dreams, all of those things. And that's fine. People are going to say that. And a lot of the time they say that out of concern for you, not necessarily because they naysayers. Yeah, you're going to run into some naysayers. You're going to run into some people who don't believe in your goals and dreams and don't encourage you along the way. But fundamentally, people will express that phrase when they're a little bit concerned or they think that your head is too much in the clouds. And as a writer who sometimes, I do live in the clouds. I'm writing stories and poetry and all those things. And there's a bit of cloud living required to turn out some, content around poetry and around short stories and things like that. So for me, about 23 years ago, obviously, I was in a situation and my unrealistic dream at the time was simply to get out of massive debt. Relationship had ended. I was pregnant and alone, and the house we had sold at a loss, and there was $50,000 about or close to $50,000 debt hanging over my head. And so I call that dream an unrealistic dream because I wanted to reduce the debt, but I was going on maternity leave. I was only a few months away from maternity leave. And what that meant was that the income was going to decrease dramatically. And yet I had this dream in my mind that I needed to clear the debt. And so one of the big things driving that was that I didn't want to be perceived as a statistic, as a single mom who was going to be living off welfare or social support or anything like that. For some reason, I simply didn't want to entertain that thought and didn't want to be judged or perceived in a negative light. And so I would sit there and wonder how I'm going to clear this massive debt. So when you've got this big debt, you're going on maternity leave, your income is going to be reduced. It was kind of an unrealistic goal, so to speak, or an unrealistic dream. But there were some things I did that helped me make the unrealistic dream a reality, and within a reasonably short time frame. So I'm going to share some of the points that I used and that I've used consistently in my life to actually convert my unrealistic dreams into reality. The first thing I did was I held a vision for it. I would write out every day and sit quietly for a few minutes every day and simply visualize that I was debt-free. Crazy, right? To do something like that when your bank balance or the loan balance or whatever is telling you a different story, and yet I'm visualizing that I'm debt-free. And I did it every day without fail. And if I didn't sit there and visualize about it, I would write it out because I journal a lot. So I would write in my journal, I am debt-free. I have cleared my $50,000 worth of debt. So that was the first thing. Step number one was I held a vision for it. Step number two was taking action to try and see how I could turn that unrealistic dream into reality. So for me, the action that I needed to take, or that I identified I needed to take, was that I had to get a better job. When I was coming off maternity leave, I was like, this income that I'm currently making isn't going to help me clear this debt in any great hurry. So I need to figure out how to get a better job. And so I wrote and rewrote my resume a gazillion times. And I started to tap the minds of those around me. I started to do my research, right? Did a lot of research around decent paying jobs, where my skills could match those decent paying jobs or those higher paying jobs. And then I went on to the third step, was I started to tap the minds of the people who knew more than I did. And by that, I mean, I started talking to recruiters, and I started talking to hiring managers and HR people. And I also started talking to colleagues who were succeeding where I wanted to be, ones that were earning the higher incomes and landing the roles, in reasonably short space of time. Tap that mind, that mastermind, so to speak, and pick the brains and learned and implemented, and all the advice that they were giving me, I was implementing, following. And within about 6 months, I think it was, I increased my income by $40,000. And within 2 years of starting that whole journey of wanting to turn my unrealistic dream into reality, I had bumped my income up into the high six figures. And so within a very short space of time, because of what the action I'd taken and the vision that I was holding, I did clear that debt. I actually cleared that debt within 2.5 years. And so my unrealistic dream quickly became a reality for me within the space of 2.5 to 3 years. The other thing I did was I started helping other people have similar success. So there were people who were also wanting to improve their careers, and I started writing their resumes and helping them, coaching them, all that kind of things. And they started having similar success. So years where that brought about an even bigger reality in my dreams of being successful was that some of the people I helped along the way went along to land up in roles with really great companies. And those very people that I had helped, a couple of years later, had roles in their companies and would contact me and go, I know this is what you do. I know you lead in this space. There's a role in my company for the kind of skills that you have. Are you interested? And I land some of my highest paying contracts through people I had previously helped in their own career journey. So it ended up being, maybe not right away they were able to reciprocate, but down the track, the doors were open to me from people that I had previously helped before. So never underestimate the power of contributing to others. You just never know when that is going to circle back and actually help you become more successful, and you tap into what many people perceive as unrealistic dreams, but yet you're able to execute and make them happen for you. And then the fifth step is that I formed alliances, mutually beneficial ones, where I always try to walk in the spirit of giving first. So most times when I gave first, when I supported my bosses or supported the CEOs or the managers or whoever I worked with, and even the colleagues I worked with, it was simply about forming alliances of giving and receiving, or alliances of reciprocity. And simply doing that opened up doors to me. Doors were opened because of the trust that was created. And so, if you look at the steps I took, the 5 steps: holding a vision, taking action, and taking action towards my goals, and then starting to tap the minds of those who knew more than I did or who were succeeding where I wanted to succeed, starting to help others, and then forming alliances with people with that mindset of giving first. you'll notice that the last 3 steps, the starting to tap the minds of those who were more successful, starting to help others, and forming alliances, they involve connecting and collaborating with others, connecting to and collaborating with others. In other words, community. So to this day, my big successes happen in and around connection and collaboration with others. I don't underestimate the power of community, the power of people, the power of creating like a master mindset when you work with other people. I don't know, for me, it's just led to better growth, better income, better success when I work and collaborate in and around other people. And so I myself am starting a career support community around the week beginning the 22nd of February. And anyone who wants to jump in early and take advantage of an early bird special, I'd love to have you in the community. I'm looking for diverse people, people who are open-minded, generous in heart and spirit, and want to come to learn and contribute in the community and form those wonderful alliances and those networks that are about growing together and supporting one another. So feel free to reach out, direct message me, or comment. And I look forward to seeing you if you decide to jump in and join us on the journey. And let's go do some unrealistic dreaming together. Every dream can become a reality if you're willing to hold the vision for it, take action towards it, and form the alliances and the networks that you need to make those dreams become a reality. Have a great day, everyone. And for those in Melbourne, I hope you get out in the sun and get down to the beach and have a good time. Bye for now.